how did you and how do you feel in regards to how people look at you now?
Jesus took a hit. Jesus stood in front of that cross. And obviously I'm not comparing myself to Jesus, but you know, I believe that every single thing that has happened in my life was so intentional and is so intentional for good reason. Back in 2016, I had a Jamaican restaurant that caught on fire, lost everything, got evicted, car got repoed, wages got garnished, almost lost my mind, was in a relationship at the time, he went to jail. Everything fell apart for me. And then Slutty Vegan came, and I built a $100 million brand, and I made the Time 100 list, and I made the Forbes list twice, and I made the cover of Essence magazine, and I made the cover of Black Enterprise magazine, and I did all of these things, and then I lost that $100 million brand. So you think if it happened before and I got it all back times 10, what you think about to happen right now? It's about to happen times 44, and I believe that God had this happen on purpose, okay? I only operate underneath of the assignment. And my assignment is to connect people, okay? I ain't never met a stranger in my life. So I always make this analogy that my life is like what a merchandiser does in a retail shop, okay? A merchandiser puts clothes on a mannequin so that people can see the vision in real time to see if they want to tap into the vision, okay? God had to put me on display cam. Okay? And sometimes being on display is uncomfortable, but I'm so glad that I got that level of display because every room that I walk in, I can relate to somebody. Yeah. I can relate to somebody poor. I can relate to somebody rich. I can relate to somebody who got money. I can relate to somebody who ain't got no money. I can relate to somebody who's made millions of dollars, and I can relate to somebody who's lost it all. And that is what you call range. You ever hear pastors that say, I don't want to be with nobody that ain't got no experience. I got the experience. Now, did the experience feel comfortable at all times? Hell no, it didn't. It was hard because here it is, like all the history that I've created, it's almost like I got to rewrite it. Yeah. Right? Like I find myself looking at people like, oh, well, she's not a business owner. She don't know what she's doing. Well, how is that possible when I've been in business for almost 8 years and for the first 6 years, my run was crazy. Like that didn't just happen out of nowhere. But I believe that it happened on purpose because this level of rocket ship that's taken off this go round is going to be bigger and it's going to be brighter and better. But this time it comes with a testimony. And that level of testimony is really going to inspire a lot of people. And I'm really like ready for the ride this time, but in a more intentional way.
Let me ask you this, because I've seen you make yourself, and I commend you for this, for being so accessible to the obvious. But like what I've been or bear witness to with some of my colleagues, as athletes, you come into a large sum of money. And we always hear the devastations of that person broke. That person ain't got it no more. The embarrassment that looms just with the sheer knowing of like, golly, I messed up. Yeah. My first question is, Pinky Cole, are you broke? The 4th of July is here. And if you're anything like me, you know that the celebrations start way before the fireworks. It's figuring out not only where everybody's pulling up, who's on the grill, what is and who's responsible for the playlist. And most importantly, making sure your fit is right. And that's why I love me some Macy's. Whether you're hosting your cookout, just showing up, you can knock out everything in one stop. Grab the outfit, the shoes, and all the countless accessories. But peep this though, you can also get what you need for the backyard setup. Not you running all over town. Man, you got a place that is a one-stop shop where you can piece everything together. Try to fit on, make sure it feels right. Put the whole fit together before the day gets here. That's how you avoid last-minute surprises.
Absolutely not. And I'm not embarrassed by people saying it because you only get embarrassed by things that are true.
Now, my next thing is, how did we get here where I think that testimony needs to be said in a very intentional, descriptive way, because what you've been through is what somebody is going through.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we all hear the chapter this or the bankruptcy that, and it's like, oh, look at you now. I lost it all, or I'm losing some shit. Like, I don't know what it means, but what does that specifically mean to you of how you got to a point where we've seen it kind of unravel?
You know, it's very interesting because white people do it all the time.
That's a fact.
White people do it all the time, okay? And
When you say they do it, in reference to?
they file bankruptcy all the time.
Okay.
Not just white people, but other races file bankruptcy all the time.
Wealthy people do it.
Wealthy, forget the race.
Yes.
Wealthy people
There you
file
go.
bankruptcy all the time.
It's a strategy.
It's a strategy. When you think about the U.S. bankruptcy code, it is a tool, okay? But the problem is there's a stigma in our community that when you talk about Big Bertha, it means that you're broke. But that is the lack of education because not many people in our community have ever been brave enough to proudly speak about it. I'll wait, you name one.
No, it's something that
Yeah, I'll wait.
we look the part, but we aren't the part.
Exactly. So for somebody like me who's so vocal and honest and transparent about what happens in business sometimes, now people who don't have the level of understanding will immediately go to broke because it's called ignorance, okay? So when I think about my business, I had $20 million in debt, okay? So if I got $20 million in debt, that means that I'm dealing with some real paper. I'm not dealing with no foo-foo money.
No, for sure. You
Okay?
can't even get able to get loans or lines of credit without
Exactly.
the ability to show
Exactly.
that you can pay it off.
So